Okay. In the last lecture, we finished the topic of life cycle of the project. Okay, there were stages, I believe 5, and then we moved on to the topic of construction contracts. Okay, so contract is a legal binding, okay, which is an exchange for something. So both parties agree that party A will provide this and party B will give this in return, and they do a legal agreement document, and that is called as a contract. Okay, and we were looking at different types of contracts. So we are going to cover 3 of them, and these are 3 main types, but there are other specialized types as well. And even in those 3 or 4, there are subtypes as well. We will see. But which types did we cover last time? You covered 2 of them. Which ones?
Lump sum.
Lump sum.
Rent.
Unit cost. Okay. What's the difference between them?
Lump sum is the whole cost, and the price is cost by
Right. Okay. So we discussed their advantages, disadvantages, and so on and so forth. Okay. Today we will start with a case study. Okay. So this is the case study for the unit price contract. If I read it, I will it will be very boring. So what you will do is, okay, you make groups. Okay, you read this, you make a summary within your group, one summary per group. Okay, I'll start a discussion on the blackboard, a discussion thread, and each group posts their summary in that thread. Okay, there. Okay, you make your groups. You already have it. Who are the groups? Boy is very easy, right? You can make one group, right? One is enough? Or you hate each other? One group is enough, right? Sorry? One group. You make 5 groups. But yes.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't understand it. Yeah, go somewhere. Yes. Join them. Which ones? You want me to talk to them? Take. That's okay. Okay. So overall, just a wrap up, there are risks involved in this type of contract, both for the client and the contractor, because they don't know the client doesn't know the final price, and the contractor is taking the risk of quoting a price for something which may go up and down. So balanced approach is you agree on a mechanism for risk sharing, okay, which was not in the previous example, by the way. Okay, they did not mention if market suddenly drops or increases, what they will do. Okay, like there should be a mechanism, something like this happens. Okay, how much you can go up in the unit price, and how will they bear it. Okay, and it is used where the project is unclear. Okay, and what else? Yeah, the contractor is being paid for units of work rather than the project itself. Okay, so it usually is considered better and more efficient than the lump sum contract. Okay, then we have the cost plus contract. Okay, so costs are of 2 types. In any project, in anything, there are 2 types of costs. One is called as the direct cost, the other one is called as the indirect cost. Okay, I gave you an idea about the indirect cost by calling it an overhead last time. Okay, so what was that? An overhead is basically the indirect cost. So what did we say? What is an overhead? Went over the head, right? For the logistics. Okay, what else? What else is considered as overhead? Transportation, this is what this poor guy said in good English. Logistics, right? Huh? Yes?
The operator.
Meaning what?
Run the business.
To run the business, yes. Okay, any operational cost which you need to run your business basically. Okay, but your business is attached to the project, right? So the project has to carry your business as well. So anything, it could be logistics, it could be fuel for your equipment, the equipment you are running, the generator you are running on the site. Okay, you may have to buy tankers of water for the labor and so on. Okay, so this is all overhead. Your office rent, your software subscription, ChatGPT subscription, right? All this is overhead, modern overheads. Okay, so all this is part of cost. Okay, all this is considered part of cost. Okay, and then you have the plus, which is the profit of the contractor. Okay, so the contractor will give you the cost as it is without the profit. Okay, and then separately later on, so the cost which he is quoting is without profit. Okay, it only has the things which are actually consumed in the project, either directly or indirectly. Okay, so then the contractor will give a separate amount or a percentage for his profit, which will not be included in the cost. Okay, so this type of contract is used when you want to move with the project very fast. Okay, so in the previous one, in the lump sum, you need to know everything to give the total cost. In the unit cost method, you need to at least know the type of work. Okay, I don't know the quantities. Okay, like the example which you did, it's a highway project. At least I know the type of project, right? I know the type of work which will be in the project. I don't know the quantities. I can say, okay, I will increase the highway by 1 kilometer. Okay, but I cannot say I will now not build the highway and have a bridge. Okay, so even in the previous type, at least you know the type of work. But here there is more ambiguity. There is more flexibility. Okay, so even if the type of work is not known, you hire a contractor which can take care of the bridge as well as the road. Okay, and in the end you say, okay, whatever work comes, I will give you, or we will settle on this much amount of profit for you. Okay, and whatever else is there, I will just pay you on cost basis. Okay, you will spend 50,000 BD total, you get 50,000 BD, but your profit will be separately this much. Clear? Okay, so the profit is not included in the cost which the contractor is quoting. Okay, it may end up having higher cost than the other two types. Okay, why? Because of what? These type of contracts normally end up with a higher cost than the other two types. Because of what? Anyone? Yes.
Additional quantity.
Huh?
Additional quantity.
Additional quantity, maybe. The client fees is flexible. Let me just increase, since the contractor is already hired, he's already doing the work. They can go for a higher scope. Okay, like it's like when you give your car to the mechanic and you tell him, okay, you have to change the oil, but they look at the tires as well. Something like this. Okay. One thing. And the other thing is, we talked about it last time as well, the additional risk. Okay, the additional risk. The contractor is still taking some amount of risk. And there is risk in this project because you never know what the client may say eventually. Okay, so he may quote a higher profit than what he quotes for lump sum or unit price. Okay, because now he's calculating the cost, the profit for the whole project without knowing about the work. So if his normal profit was 10%, here he may quote 15%. Got my point? Okay. So, and secondly, you will not go for this type of contract for any project, right? Those will be specialized projects that I want to push them, but I don't know what will happen in the end. Okay, so obviously these projects are high profile cases. Okay, so here they are giving an example of what is a direct cost and indirect cost. So labor, material, equipment which is required for that project is a direct. Indirect costs are overheads, like I said. For example, insurance costs. Okay, projects are insured, vehicles are insured. You know, you have company insurance, health insurance, group insurance. Okay, these type of insurance you have to pay the cost. Office space, rent, I already said that. Software subscriptions. So you know what type of software, right? What? Huh?
Design software.
Design software, very good. Okay, not AI software, right? No. No. He is becoming engineer just because they are invented. Okay. What else? Yeah. So the profit can be a percentage of the total cost. It can be an exact amount. Okay. And it can vary according to the length and the scope of work. Okay. So the profit can be quoted as a percentage of the total cost. So whatever the total cost of the project is, my profit will be 2%, 3%. Okay. Or it can be taken as a direct amount. Okay, and whatever the total cost is, I will take 10,000 BD extra, something like this. Okay, so it can work with in both ways, but how much percentage and how much cost, it will depend upon the length and the scope of project. Okay, I'm talking about a big project, a road which will go from one country to another country across Europe. Okay, or from one GCC country to another GCC country, it will go over sea with a causeway and with a railway line and so on and so forth. So obviously the percentage will be higher. Even if you are giving a fixed amount, that fixed amount will be much higher, right? That fixed amount itself can be in millions. Your profit, this is what you are expecting, right? So that depends upon that. Within cost plus, so this is the main type, cost plus contract. Then within that we have these, how many are there? 4 variations. So these are subtypes of this one. Okay. The first one is cost plus fixed percentage, cost plus fixed fee, cost plus fixed fee with guaranteed maximum, and cost plus fixed fee with bonus contract. Okay. So all of them have cost plus. I already explained the first two, right? Cost plus fixed percentage. Okay, so this 6% is what? Your profit, right? Okay, or cost plus fixed fee. Okay, so the fee is your fee. Okay, your profit. And then we have cost plus fixed fee with guaranteed maximum, and the other one. Okay, we'll talk about them. Don't worry. So what is the advantages? You have there's lower risk for the owner and the contractor. Lower risk in the sense that if things don't go according to plan, you will not go into conflict. Okay, your contract has enough flexibility to take on a very vast amount of work. Negotiations or the contract, the signing of the contract can start very early. Okay, even before the design, even before you did the cost estimation, because you don't need it for the contract. Okay, that can be added later. The contract is open without the scope of work. Some of the subtypes which I mentioned, they encourage better work or lower cost. Some of those subtypes, okay, we will talk about them. So usually there is an incentive for the contractor to finish the work early or to do it in a better way. Okay, so he or she gets some incentive, some profit for that as well. They can be applied in hybrid manner, so you can combine different options. Okay, and in this way you can save yourself from over budgeting and so on and so forth. Okay, the profit is guaranteed. So anything happens, the profit is separate. Whatever happens will happen with the cost item. Okay, change in material, change in quantities, change in scope. This is where you are doing it. Okay, but in the other cases, it was something can be taken from the unit price as well, something from the lump sum. Okay, so in this case, the profit is guaranteed. We have flexibility. We said that cash flow is better. Okay, because cash flow or the amount given. Cash flow means when the bill will be given to when the billed amount will be given to the contractor. Okay, so it is totally based upon how much cost he is putting into the project. Okay, and that's the main issue with the construction projects. The main issue is not the profit. Profit will come in the end. That's normal with anything. Okay, when any transaction, any trade you do, the profit will come in the end, right? The main problem with the construction projects is the cash flow for the expenses of the project. Okay, so here it is better because you are only billing for the cost itself. Okay, so the client doesn't have to worry about is he charging me extra and so on and so forth. Okay, so the cash flow is better. The client can disperse the money immediately. In some cases, you can ask the client to do it directly. Okay, this is I'm going to buy this one or rent this one. This is the invoice, and you can pay to the subcontractor, or you can pay to the supplier directly, because you are not getting that money in the end. Okay. More transparency, because you will give this is the cost of the project without the profit. Okay, so you are giving the whole breakup now in this case. Okay, it is built on, as I said, transparency, so it has a better trust relationship between them. So it will only happen between two parties which are trusting each other, or they will start to trust each other through the project. In the end, they may benefit from this relationship in future projects as well. Okay. And potentially it can give you higher qualities because the client is directly taking the cost upon himself. Okay, so the contractor cannot say that no, I cannot do this because it will cost higher, my profit will be less. No, if I am asking it, you have to do it. The disadvantages are you don't know the final cost. The client does not know the final cost. The same problem that we had with the unit cost method. Okay, the problem for the contractor is for the indirect cost, for the overheads. Okay, so you are telling me material cost this much, labor cost this much, equipment this much, plus 2000 BD. For what? Now you know you have an office rent to give, you have electricity bills, you have subscriptions, you have blah blah blah. But how do I show it to the client? You see the point? So the client is just what? It's just your profit, right? So you have to justify it, you have to convince it, and so on. And obviously this cannot be built. You cannot say, this many units of electricity in my office, so this is for your project. It cannot happen. Okay? So this is the problem here. It requires a trusted partner, the contractor, which you can trust with the work. Obviously, you need some relationship, you need to know him even from the start as well, to even start this type of contract. It needs very accurate cost tracking. So I'm no longer looking at the work itself, I'm looking at the cost directly now. So you cannot tell me, don't worry about the cost, you ask for 10 columns, I have 10 columns, pay it for me. Okay, you cannot say this. No, he will say, what was the cost, tell me. How much material was consumed, how much labor charges you gave, and so on and so forth. Okay, so more accurate cost tracking is required. There is a potential for dispute for the client because he is responsible for every cost. Okay, so the contractor may say, you did not pay for this thing, you were late in paying for this thing, I'm stopping my work. Okay, well, I already told you, you have to do this. Now you are, the contractor may buy some material, may rent some equipment, and the client says, no, this is not part of the project. The contractor may say, no, you have to pay for it. I already have it on the project. I already used it. Okay, so these are the type of disputes you can have. And then we have change orders as well. What was change order? Change the scope of work. Okay, so yes, there is flexibility here, but that doesn't mean you can do whatever you want. Okay, so this is the problem with it. Okay, so one way to avoid this is you have guaranteed maximum price clause to it. Okay, so you say cost plus profit will be this much. Okay, and the client says, okay, I accept it, but you have to make sure that the maximum cost of the project will not go above this value. So there is a final limit to these things. Okay, so whatever happens, it cannot go above this. Okay, so there is a protection for the client, and then there are less chances for disputes and so on and so forth. Okay. Okay, we will talk about the last one later on. So the first two I already told you: fixed percentage, fixed fee, guaranteed maximum price. Or I just said what it is now. Okay, that you have cost plus profit with a maximum limit. Okay, so the cost, total cost, including profit, can go up to this much. That's it. Okay. Okay, then we have this example for a cost plus contract example. Okay, and so what type of project we have? They are building an airplane hangar. Okay, the place where the what? Airplane what? The tanks? No, that's
Something in.
to put something in. The place where the airplane parks, okay, it goes there, stays there, okay? Huh? Sort of a warehouse, yes. Okay, so there are two parties which are signing this contract. One is Green Construction, and the other one, obviously, the project owner, okay? And they are doing it on good faith because they don't know the total cost or duration of the project just now, okay? The contractor has already hired some specialty contractors, okay, who have a good idea about this type of work. So he is not taking the project alone. He is taking it with some other people, but those other people he spoke with them, he asked for their rates and so on. So he is not going in blindly. Okay, this is the point. So the point is, even in this type of contracts, you need to gather initial data yourself before you sign for this type of work. Okay, and the point about a specialty contractor is, so he knows he has people who can do this sort of work. Okay, who deal with airplane hangars and airports and so on. Okay, so but the company itself is a general contracting company. They are not a specialist, so they are hiring other people. Okay. So they have said that they are going for the total cost plus 10% will be their fee. Okay. What else? So the specialty contractors, the agreement is, or the arrangement is, the subcontractors will pay or will submit the invoices, their bills, to the main contractor, which is GC. Okay, and who will submit it to the client himself. Okay, and they have to show what percentage of work it has been done. Okay, so he will submit the invoice from the subcontractors, and he will also submit the proof about the percentage of work which is done. Okay, and he also has to show if there was any cost or anything which has shifted from the actual or initial estimate. Okay, and those will be covered by the client. Obviously, these things will be covered by the client. If the cost overrun, if there's an extra cost, because the contract is open, right? So the cost, he will report it, but it will be covered by the client. Okay. What else? Yeah, the change orders. okay, are allowed. The contractor can give the change order, okay, and they are generally yeah. So the point is, before carrying out the work, the change order must be approved. Okay, if he does something without approval, then the cost will not be given. Otherwise, whatever new changes are approved, the contractor can bill for it. Okay, clear? What else? Yeah, so they have a dispute resolution process given in the contract. If any dispute happens, any conflict happens, dispute meaning that they are not agreeing on some item, any item. Okay, so if this type of dispute happens, what they will do for it, it is written in the contract itself. Okay, what is written, we don't know. Okay, for that I have to go to Green Construction. I don't know where it is. Okay, so whatever it is, but the point is, the conflict resolution mechanism is part of the contract itself. Okay. When the project will reach near the end, the owner will start to prepare for the final payments for the cost as well as for the fee. Okay. So they have, and the fee would be paid within 30 days of the signing of the contract, the final what they call handover of the project. Within 30 days of that, the client will pay the full fee. Okay, and it will also give a certificate to the client that the work is being done. After that, 30 days. They have already prepared a checklist of what items to be done, and once that list is filled, that is considered as complete. Okay, and there is a retainage amount as well for the subcontractors. So now you see, the main contractor and subcontractors are using different types of contract. The main contractor is using cost plus. Okay, cost plus percentage, right? Cost plus fixed percentage. But the subcontractors are hired on some other type of contract. Is it mentioned here? No, right? It's not mentioned. But they are saying price quotes. So basically, they must be hired on lump sum basis. Okay, so there's a hybrid mechanism. The main contractor is hiring someone on lump sum basis because he wants to know the total cost. Obviously, you cannot keep. He is on cost plus basis and he hires someone else on cost plus basis. You are increasing the risk. Okay, anything can happen on any level. Normally, the lower subcontractors are on simpler basis. Okay, they have simpler agreements. Okay, total cost or something. So for those subcontractors, they are keeping a retainage as well. Retainage means what? We discussed this last time. Retainage means what? It is not in this type of contract. Like cost plus contract does not have a retainage amount, but the other two have a retainage amount. What does it mean? Retainage means what? Yes, anybody? No. Okay, good. Retainage means the amount you keep as a warranty till the end of the work, till you are satisfied, till you have checked everything. You keep this amount till the end. It's like a warranty amount. Okay. So this is only released when the client is completely happy, satisfied with the project. Otherwise, it will not be released. Okay, and the contractor will be asked to, if there's any mistake, any problem, the client will say, I will not give you this money until you correct your problem. Clear? So retainage is like a warranty amount you keep. The thing was that they are paying the retainage money. Okay, because they are dealing with the subcontractors, right? So they are keeping the retainage money as well. So using this type of contract, they have secured a significant fee. Obviously, 10% of the airplane hangar is quite a lot. Okay, it's an expensive structure. So they have they completed the project because on time, because they already did their hard work, did their data collection with the contractors, especially the contractors and so on and so forth. Okay, now so this project was a success for the contractor and the client. Okay, he got the project on time, he got the money. Okay, can you tell me the main reason here that this went so well? What is the reason that in this case everything went so well?
Choosing the subcontractor.
Choosing the subcontractors. Okay, so he relied on specialists of that field. Okay, which he consulted and engaged from the start of the project. Okay, what else? Anything else? So this is a very big reason. And data collecting, that is from the subcontractor, right? Yeah, anything else? Yes. Anything about the contract itself? There are a couple of good points mentioned about the contract, the agreement document. Yes. So they make sure that all the problems which can happen, they have written down the procedure to handle them. They not leave anything ambiguous, that we will see when it happens. Okay. So there is a template which is given. I don't know if it works if I click on it. Okay, so this template is given by American Institute of Architects. Okay, and it provides a basic structure of the terms on which they need to agree on. Okay, and what are the costs for which you can be paid. Okay, and on what basis the contractor fee will be calculated. Okay, and they have standard sections about payments, dispute resolutions. Okay, any conflicts, how to deal with them. They have a standard for that. Liquidated damages, meaning the damages which are how do I say it? The damages for which you don't have anything to show, like they are gone. Something is completely gone. There's nothing like no product, no waste to show that. Okay, that is called liquidated damages. Okay. And when the contract will be terminated, at what point the contract will be terminated, at what clause or what thing will cause the contract to terminate. One of the clauses, if the project is complete, the contract is finished, right? Okay, this is one of the clauses. But there are other clauses as well which can make the contract terminated. Okay, because these parties can no longer work with each other. For example, there could be a clause if any of the parties go to the court, the contract is terminated because now the matter is in court. We cannot hold this agreement now. Okay, whatever court decides, we will see. Okay, so there can be other clauses as well. So why do we need the templates? Because first of all, they give you the general standards, the general rules. Okay, and they give you a good starting point. So for example, somebody never did a cost plus contract for their projects, or it has never happened in this country or with this company. They have a standard to go and see, and they can make changes later on if they want. Okay, the last of these types is incentive contracts. Okay, so in the previous contracts, we are saying, okay, whatever the cost is will be paid. Okay, and then there will be a profit. Okay, and the cost is whatever items of work you agree on, you will pay for that. Okay, but after you agree, there is no incentive, there is no reward. Incentive means a reward. Okay, so there is no reward for the contractor to finish the project early, let's say. Okay, or to finish the project with low cost. So, like in the previous example, he would want the cost to go higher, right? Okay, because he is getting 10% of it. Or even if you say, okay, you have fixed fee, okay, fixed fee, you will give me 20,000 BD. Whether I do the work for remaining 80,000 BD or I do the work for 200,000 BD, I will still get 20. Okay, so there is no reward for me to do the work with low cost. Okay, so you can set an incentive that the initial cost was 100,000. From 100,000, your fee will be 20,000 less. Okay, but if you finish it in 70,000, what will we do? He saved 10,000, right? What we do? Huh? Give the 10,000 to him, right? Huh? Why not? No? Yeah. So you can like split, you know? Yes. You cannot give the whole 10,000. Well, getting nothing in the end. Okay? So you can work out a mechanism, anyways. But these incentives are obviously they cannot be fixed. You cannot fix them. If you did this, then I will give you this much reward. Maybe it's not possible. So they are like very ambiguous. They are very unclear. You cannot force the contractor to do that. He may do something out of the way. Okay, you cannot force him. So incentives are okay. There is a clause in the contract, but you don't push the contractor to do that because then you don't know what he will do. Okay, and what he does in the end, whether it is useful or not. Okay, so the incentives can be given for doing it early, doing it not going over budget, or providing high quality of work. Okay, so for quality, for time, for budget, it can be for any of these things. Okay, but these clauses are set in the contract, and then you set up targets. Okay, so he cannot say, okay, I saved the cost by 0.1%. Nothing. Okay, but I was supposed to finish at 5, I finished at 4:30 p.m. Give me my reward. Okay, so there are goals and targets. If you achieve this much, then we can talk. Okay, otherwise, okay, we will do dua for you. Huh? At the time of iftar.